The Big Bearded Baker.
Hi, welcome to the Big Bearded Baker today. We're going to make brioche. So, starting off, we need some yeast, sugar, salt, butter, flour, and a few eggs. So first we're going to do, we're going to take our yeast, we're going to put it in our water, give it a little whisk. This will help activate the yeast and get it ready for our dough mixture. Now, this usually takes about 10 minutes. So as this is setting and starting to kind of poof up and get a little foamy looking, we're going to start putting some of our dry ingredients into our mixer. So in a large bowl, mixing bowl, we're going to take 3.5 cups of flour, tablespoon of sugar, teaspoon of salt. We're going to take our dough hook, get that guy ready to go. Alright, so let's take our eggs while we're waiting on our yeast mixture to go up, and let's just go ahead and get them in a small bowl. You'll need 4 eggs for this. They're also going to go into the mixture. What you want to do is just kind of make you a little bit of a well in your mixture for your eggs to go. Just like so. As you can see, our mixture is starting to get a little foamy there. Starting to. Got a couple more minutes on that. Let's go ahead and get our other egg. We're going to need a 5th egg, just the yolk. In this case, this is going to be what you're going to baste your brioche with. Once we get that guy going into the oven. It's really easy to separate an egg and a yolk just by using the shell. You can also use an empty soda bottle. Squeeze it and just kind of suck the egg yolk right up into it. It's kind of cool. So here we go. All those items. We'll set this guy to the side. And we're getting pretty foamy now. We're starting to. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pour our yeast mixture right in. It's okay if you do it a little soon. It'll still plume up. Now we're going to go ahead and start getting this guy mixing. Alright. Dough mixture is all good to go here. It's going to be a little bit sticky. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull it out here. Get it onto a surface. And we're going to start kneading this dough together. Crumbs together just like this. Just press it right into it. You want to work your dough for about 8 to 10 minutes. essentially what you're doing is you're folding the dough over onto itself and then pressing into it. And you're going to just continue to do that constantly. Depending on how good you are at kneading, this can take a shorter amount of time, or it can take a longer amount of time. Basically, once the dough starts kind of coming together and is looking more like Play-Doh, in this case, it is a little stretchy, and you're pretty much done. So we're getting pretty close here. Cutting board likes to travel a little bit. Now, from here, we're going to start adding in some butter. Be kind of similar to like how you add butter into croissants, but really we're just going to kind of knead it into it. I'm just going to flatten the dough out. And from here, we're going to let this, I'm going to put about a third of the butter in. We're going to do this 3 times. And we're going to knead it each time, and then we're going to let it rest for about 20 or so minutes. I'll show you the first part of it. Let's get the butter here. Don't be afraid to get messy. Just get all hands in on this. You're going to get about a third of your butter. About much. And we're just going to slather it on. From here, just start folding it in. Alright, I had to get rid of the cutting board. It's moving around too much. Couldn't get it to come up. As you can see, after you get your butter going, you can see it's still on my hands. You have a place where you can actually firmly get in there, get this guy going. It'll come together. It's messy at first, but just keep working it. Right. So, you need to let this rest for about 20 minutes in between each kneading of your butter. So, I won't show you the other 2 kneadings because, well, that's the same thing. You're going to knead, it's going to get messy, and then it's going to finally come together. So, I'll see you back once we've done the other 2 sets of butters and we're ready to start proofing. All right, so we got one last set of butter to put in. I'm gonna let you watch that one. Watch a good version of it, that is. Butter in. just start folding it up. Go to town. Now it's going to get real sticky again. It's going to be messy. Just keep working it. Usually just takes about 5 minutes of beating the crap out of it. You'll be good to go. Slap it. As you can see, it's making a mess. The more you knead, the more you throw it around, you'll notice it all start coming back together again. See, it's already starting to. See how it's getting sticky? Now it's going to start reforming. It's going to start pulling itself back together. Do not put flour down. You don't need it. Get it? You need it. Just keep working it. There it goes. It's starting to pull itself. Roll it around. Knead it together. When you're doing it, it feels like it's just not going to come together, but then it'll just out of nowhere pull itself in. I just like to roll it around, pick up all the tidbits that's sitting there. Here's all the butter in. Look how nice that's starting to come together. All right, so now, a little oil in a bowl. Round up in there. A little bit on the dough. Now, we're going to let this guy proof for roughly an hour. It's going to double in volume. Once we're done with that, we'll punch it down, and it's going to go into the fridge for anywhere between 6 hours till the next day. So the longer you keep it in there, the better. The more workable the dough becomes. And then we'll turn it out, get it onto a bread pan of some sorts. I think we're going to braid this one up, make it look real nice and pretty. And we'll bake some bread. So I'll get back to you once this guy's proofed and punched down, and we're ready to start making it into bread.
Oh my God, stop.
Thanks for coming back to the Big Bearded Baker. As you can see, our dough's set overnight, roughly 6 hours to overnight. And we're going to turn this guy out onto a floured area. And we're just going to recombine the dough itself into a little bit of a loaf. And that way we can start splitting it into about 3 sections. As you can see here, I've got it set up to 3-ish sections that are roughly about the same size. get them as close as you possibly can. Once you've got them split, we'll rework the dough and start rolling it out and elongating it. We're going to do this into about 3 sections. After we've got the 3 sections created, we'll take this guy and put it on a loaf pan, and we'll start braiding it together. Now, as you're braiding this together, you use a little bit of water to combine the ends together and then shape them and round them out. And then just make sure your braids are nice and tight. And this way they'll come out looking somewhat similar to this. Had a little bit of dough left over, so we took that guy and made a small bun just to go with it. We're just going to take this guy and cover it up. We're going to let it proof for about 60 to 90 minutes, so it'll double in size and look something kind of like this guy. Once we've got them set up, we're going to get some egg and a little bit of water. We'll combine that in a small little bowl and just whisk it up. And you get something like this guy here. Once you've got that all whisked up, we're going to take our egg wash, and we're going to need a brush of some sorts, and we're just going to brush a little bit of the egg wash glaze over everything. This will give us our loaf a very nice brown look once it starts baking. So once we've got all that set up, we need to go ahead and preheat our oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Once we've got that all set up, 25 minutes in the oven. And then once it's all finished and good to go, you'll have something like this. Great brioche. Well, thank you for joining us at the Big Bearded Baker again. We'd love to see you come back, so please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and make sure you hit the bell notification so you can always see the videos.